When we hear the word manipulation, our minds immediately jump to the worst-case scenarios. We picture scammers draining bank accounts, toxic exes playing cruel mind games, or puppet masters pulling the strings from the shadows. But objectively, psychological manipulation is simply the act of altering someone else's perception and behavior to achieve a specific outcome. By that strict definition, a parent getting their child to eat a plate of broccoli is manipulating them. The same goes for a friend who talks you out of making a terrible mistake when you're spiraling. These everyday interactions show that the mechanical act of influencing someone's behavior isn't inherently evil. The psychological tool itself is morally neutral. Because society treats all manipulation as a malicious act, we've developed a blind spot. We lack the vocabulary to separate the people trying to guide us safely from the people trying to exploit us. To navigate social environments safely, we need a reliable system to distinguish a protector from a predator. The problem is that you can't tell them apart at first glance. The opening move, the advice or the request, looks identical whether the person has your best interests at heart or not. Since that first interaction tells us very little about their motives, we have to look deeper. We have to identify the exact behavioral threshold where everyday persuasion turns into dark psychology. Manipulation is driven by intent, splitting influence into positive and negative. Positive manipulation protects, steering the target away from harm to foster growth. Negative manipulation is self-serving, controlling the target to extract financial, psychological, or sexual benefits. We know intent is the dividing line, but intent is invisible. To expose it, we have to apply a behavioral stress test that forces a manipulator to play their hand out in the open. That stress test is resistance. The clearest way to uncover someone's true nature is simply to assert a firm boundary and say no. When you push back against a positive manipulator, they stop. The pressure drops immediately. Healthy influence respects your autonomy. They might want what is best for you, but if you refuse their guidance, they will step back and allow you to make your own mistakes. This is where individuals with dark personalities, the narcissists, the Machiavellians, the sadists, and the psychopaths, reveal how they operate. If you are a strong, mature person and you tell a dark personality no, they do not respect your boundary. They do not accept the rejection and back down. Instead, they cross the coercion threshold. They escalate the situation, deploying unrelenting emotional and psychological pressure to force your compliance. A dark manipulator reveals themselves the moment you try to walk away. The escalation of coercive pressure is the hallmark of their intent. This creates a simple rule for your relationships. It is fine to let others influence you, but you must never tolerate being pressured after you have clearly withdrawn your consent. There is a massive difference between the collaborative feeling of being guided by an ally and the suffocating sensation of being trapped by someone's coercion. By keeping your focus on this specific threshold of coercion, you establish an internal radar system. It flags toxic individuals long before they have the chance to sink their hooks into your life. Recognizing that you are being pressured is just the first step. To handle these encounters, you have to know which psychological weapons are being pointed at you. You need to spot the tools they use to distort your reality, like gaslighting and projection. You need to catch them when they try to sever your support systems through forced isolation or the silent treatment. And you have to see right through their attempts to break your willpower using intimidation and elaborate mind games. These aggressive tactics are dangerous, but they have a critical flaw. They only work if you grant the manipulator permission to use them by remaining unaware of how they function. Studying the mechanics of these tactics provides you with the awareness needed to spot them in real time. Once the move is visible, the manipulator loses their primary advantage, your confusion. Follow our channel and stay tuned as we break down every one of these tactics in our upcoming videos.